Way too early. Starting pitcher rankings for 2026. Up next on Fantasy Baseball Today Express. Welcome into FBT Express on Wednesday, November 19th. I am Frank Stanfield, joined by Scott White, and let's take a look at Scott's starting pitcher rankings for 2026. We'll take a look at the top 12 and start off with the big three, Scott. We have Tarek Skubal, Garrett Crochet, Paul Skeens. These three have kind of separated themselves. They are a clear tier above, I think, the rest of the starting pitchers that we're going to get to the rest of today. Garrett Crochet, I'll ask you about him. Obviously, big breakout season, first year with the Boston Red Sox. Any concern over the innings jump from 146 in 2024 all the way up over 200 here in 2025?
The concern isn't zero. There is some concern over that. But on the list of concerns I could have about pitchers that I might put here instead, that I might wait to draft on instead, it's pretty low. It's pretty low. For me, innings, these days I'm more concerned. The reason I stress about innings is, can they get there? Can they take on the ace workload? Will their teams let them take on the ace workload? Or are they forever going to be restricted to a level that makes them less than an ace? Well, we've now seen that that Crochet can give us 200 plus innings, that the Red Sox will let him. And so now we bet on him staying healthy. And that's all you can do with any pitcher. There are no guarantees in terms of staying healthy. I think Crochet has a case to be the number one starting pitcher in fantasy, not just number two. But Skubal's done it 2 years in a row, and Crochet just has the one where he's given us an ace result. So I give Skubal the edge, but they're 1 and 1A. And Skeens being third, I mean, he's right there too. It's a clear top three, like you said. And I would say that this year, more than, I don't remember the last year. It's been a few years since I've been willing to actually pay the premium for an elite starting pitcher in the first, second round range. I would for any of these three guys right at the 1-2 turn.
All right, 4 through 6, you have Chris Sale, Yoshinobu, Yamamoto, and Logan Gilbert. One of the biggest questions this offseason has been, who will be the SP4 drafted? It feels like there's a big tier of options here to be that SP4. You landed on Chris Sale. How did you get there?
I got there because I think he is the most likely to hang with the top three in terms of output. In fact, he seemed on a good trajectory to pick up a second consecutive Cy Young Award before his ill-fated decision to dive for a ground ball and fracture his rib. That cost him so much time. But he was pitching like an ace before then. He was pitching like an ace after he returned. 5 of his final 6 starts, exactly 9 strikeouts. So performance-wise, no concerns here about Sale. It's just a matter of staying healthy, which, again, is a concern for every pitcher. I'd feel worse if it was an arm injury he suffered. It was a fractured rib. So I think that's fine. Yamamoto is probably going to be the chalk pick here at number 4 after a historic postseason performance. But I don't think game to game the outcomes are as high as Sale, and I don't think the innings upside is as high as Sale. For all of Sale's injury concerns, Yamamoto's probably going to be in a 6-man rotation with Ohtani there, and it's going to be a stretch to get him to 180 innings.
All right, let's take a quick break. We'll be back right after this.
When you need your sports news all the time,
we've got breaking news to bring to you.
CBS Sports HQ gives you a snapshot of all the sports that matter to you. When you need your sports in a snap, find it on CBS Sports HQ. Streaming free anywhere you are.
Welcome back in FBT Express. We are taking a look at Scott's top 12 starting pitchers for next season. 7, 8, and 9, you have Cristopher Sanchez, Bryan Woo, and Max Fried. I'm going to ask you a bit of a philosophical question for 2 of these names because I know that I've struggled with it. Sanchez and Bryan Woo, 2 names that moved up a lot based on where they were drafted last year, right? It was both of these guys going outside of the top 100 in ADP, outside of the top 125. Are you actually now willing to invest if you have to use a top 40, a top 50 overall price tag for one of Sanchez or Bryan Woo as your SP1 for next season?
Yeah, if they last that long, then I think that's fine. There is a period in the draft where I'm not going to pursue a starting pitcher at all. Like I said, I'd take the top 3 at the round 1-2 turn, but then I'm probably not looking at starting pitcher again until round 4 at the earliest. So anyone who lasts to round 4 is on the table for me. I put these guys in the same tiers like Chris Sale, who's my 4th ranked starting pitcher, as Yoshinobu Yamamoto. And so whichever lasts the longest is who I'm most likely to take. And it could be either of these guys or even some of those I rank behind them. Sanchez, I put ahead of Wu. I think there's a higher floor there. He really excels in all 3 areas that a pitcher can directly control, and that he gets ground balls at an elite rate. He's an elite strike thrower. That both of those have been a multi-year trend. But Sanchez upping his velocity this past year really emerged as more of a strikeout pitcher than he'd ever been before. So add that he goes deep into games consistently, add that he's on a great team. I think he's a true ace in fantasy. Wu is too, but I think there's a little there are more ways things could go wrong for Wu, which is why I put him behind Sanchez.
All right, and 10, 11, and 12 in your rankings here. You have Hunter Brown, Hunter Greene, and Cole Reagans. My first very serious question, did you put Brown and Greene next to each other because they're both first named Hunter and their last names are colors?
That is just a happy accident, though I was happy when I saw it happen. It was really a question of which Hunter went first. And I do think Hunter Greene is the higher upside play. I think Hunter Brown is the higher floor play. Ultimately, I went Brown over Greene because we've never seen Greene top 150 innings before.
Yeah.
And he was throwing even harder last year, which introduces more injury risk. The time he missed was a groin issue. It wasn't an arm issue, so unrelated to the velocity increase, but that does introduce more injury risk. I'm not sure Greene really needed the extra velocity. But per inning, per start, he should be an ace. Hunter Brown should be too. I think there is some potential to overrate Hunter Brown, even though I have him the higher of the Hunters because of the 10 K per 9 he had in 2025. I'm not sure I buy that, Mark. In the second half, it was only 8.8 K per 9. And you look at the swinging strike rate, it's never been very good for Hunter Brown. I think the strikeout rate for him this past year is a little misleading. He's more of a ground ball specialist who gets strikeouts at a nice rate. So very similar to Max Fried, actually, is Hunter Brown. So I don't see him as a series, like some people might consider him for that 4th spot that's in question, or 5th in the starting pitcher rankings. But for me, he belongs down here at 10.
All right, for more extensive fantasy baseball coverage, listen to our full-length podcast, Fantasy Baseball Today, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere else podcasts are found. Thanks for listening to Fantasy Baseball Today Express, and we will be back again on Friday. Bye-bye.